Hello guys, this is the Epiphany. Today I'd like to show you a video where I'm revealing all four of my Ouginak sets, the Strength, Agility, Intelligence and Chance set. I'm also going to be showing you the stats of the sets and the resistances of the set. So I'm going to start off by showing you the resistances of the set. So let me just attack this pouch ink ball. The Strength set I'm using has 20, 40, 33, 30 and 40% resistance. 11 AP, 6 MP. I'm not using a dragon helmet, so I'm quite impressed with the high resistances that I managed to get in this set, and I'll show you how I managed to do it. I will not be telling you guys the price cost of each of the items, because firstly it's going to take too long, and secondly, every single time I do that, the item prices tend to fluctuate anyway. So if you guys look at my OSA set review videos from last year, the prices are actually a lot lower than what they are now. Or back then the price was a lot higher than what they are right now, because the items, you know, they lose value after time. I have 1181 strength. That is with 99 earth and neutral fixed damage. I also have 0 power, 40% critical hits, and yeah, 2.9k initiative. So to start us off, I'm going to show you guys my hat, which is the Cthulhu mask, 5% earth resistance. You've probably seen this in one of my previous videos that I bought it. Very nice stats except for the wisdom, but the fact that it has 5% earth makes up for the loss of wisdom. Cloak of Thousand Excuses, 3% earth resistance. I'm actually not happy with this cape. I'm looking for one that is 18 neutral and 18 earth damage and has to have 100 strength, 340 vitality at least, and 3% earth resistance. So I'm still looking to upgrade this. Belt I'm using is a Untitled belt, 3% earth resistance overmage, made by Jarix, good mate of mine. It's very good stats. Well, you might say that the neutral and earth damage is 18 only, but it's very hard to get 3% earth resistance on this item because every single stat on the item is important. So whenever the range drops, you're probably spending the sync to fix its stats anyway. Most Unnameable belts 3% earth I've seen on the server are probably around 30 wisdom or missing a lot of essential stats. Boots I'm using a 6% earth shabby shoes. It's pretty much a good stats except for the wisdom, but the 6% earth makes up for the loss of wisdom anyway, so I don't mind. I also showed this item on one of my previous videos. Amulet I'm using is a Unnameable amulet. It's 3% fire resistance overmage. You probably realize that it doesn't give any strength. However, the reason I use it is because of the set bonus with the Unnameable belt. It gives 100 strength, 100 int, 100 agi, 100 chance, and 10 elemental damage of each element. Now that makes up for the fact that the amulet doesn't give any strength, and also it's technically 400 initiative, which is quite useful. And on top of that, the amulet itself, even though it doesn't give strength, I benefit from the critical damage from the MP parry, the crits, and even the summon. Well, not really the summon, I'm an Ouginak. The ring I'm using is a 1 AP Exomage Tash ring. It's probably the best one in the server. I've never seen one with max wisdom, max strength, and vitality near max. All the resistances are max as well. Yeah, it's very nice. I'm very happy when I landed this exo. The other ring I'm using is a 1 MP, 1% earth resistance barbaric band. I measured myself. I ensured the strength was max. Wisdom is pretty high as well. The lock is max as well, which is pretty rare. People usually leave 4 lock on the item. Yeah, 1% earth, pretty nice. Hamature I'm using 2% earth resistance, measured myself. The MP reduction had to be sacrificed, but it was the most useless stat on the item anyway, since I'm an Ouginak, because there's no way of getting sync on this item. So yeah, if you look at the stats, it's pretty nice. It's actually pretty nice considering it's 2% earth resistance, and keeping in mind that whenever I add an earth resistance rune, it has to drop something. The shield I'm using is a water dial. Water dial is 100 vitality transcendence rune on it. You notice the stats are pretty much perfect except for 1 MP reduction. Now I managed to get these stats without dropping a 1 AP or 1 MP exo, so I did save a lot of money. Technically speaking, MP reduction doesn't even benefit me anyway, since I'm an Ouginak, strength Ouginak, I mean. Now, I'm using this shield because 12% melee damage will benefit every single one of my spells. Like, all of my spells are melee, except for Mastiff, which, obviously the minus 12% range damage will harm it, but it's a weak spell. And even if I do hit from range, it's probably to deactivate an Ivory Dofus or to charge my Ebony Dofus, so it's weak anyway. The mount I'm using is 1000 initiative, 300 Vite, 70 strength, because initiative is quite important. Sometimes I swap it with a green P-Win, 120 strength, 40 crit damage. Now I use an Ebony, a Turk, an Ivory, an Emerald, an Abyssal, and a Major Rabbit. My Sparkling Silver Dofus is I usually switch it with an Emerald depending on the fight. It has saved my life a few times, it's quite nice. Alright, so that's the strength set. Moving on to the agility set. I'm gonna show you my resistances and stats. Now the resistances that I have is 14, 44, 34, 34 and 42. Now that's pretty decent as well. I'm not using a dragon helmet in this set either, so let me show you guys how I managed to get it. Now the stats, 1283 agility, pretty high. That was more strength, more than the amount of strength I had in the previous set. Initiative is pretty decent as well, 2380. What else is there? 50 power is from my air Bwack, because the air Bwack gives 25% air resistance and 50 power. MP parry is pretty high. It's pretty decent when fighting Sardidas. I have a decent amount of dodge, 157, and yeah. Now to show you guys the set, the hat that I'm using is a Chokao mask. Let me just remove the thing so you know what it looks like. It looks pretty ugly. It's from the Easter update. I managed to get it, then I overmeasured it, 98 vitality. You look at the stats, the worst stats is probably the pushback damage, but I didn't have enough sync to fix the stats perfectly, and as well as overmeasuring the Vite. So yeah, I had to leave the pushback damage low, and the fact that the damage is low means that maybe the final MP has a high chance of landing after I overmeasure it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these stats. Another reason why I use this is because it gives 1 MP, and if I didn't use this, then I would have to use a Nomad trophy or a Volbus. I don't have a Volbus though, so yeah. Cloak I'm using is a 3% air indescribable cape. I made this one myself around 2 years ago, but I forgot to sign it, so that was pretty unlucky. But this is a very hard cape to mage. It's harder than it looks. 3% air was, I was quite lucky to obtain it. So yeah, 3% air. Mino belt I bought from the market, 4% air resistance. I don't know who maged it, but it's pretty nice stats. Max air damage. AP reduction a bit low, but it's not an important stat for me anyway, since I'm an Ouginak. Triton Palms is 3% air. Perfect stats except for free vitality. Maged by Dandir. Very good magus. I've seen some of his work posted in the Echo Discord. It's very good magus. Yeah, so yeah, he's good. I'm pretty happy with his boots. It's essentially perfect except for free vitality. Next I have a 4% air Jammy Jack collar, made by myself. Perfect stats pretty much, except for wisdom, agility and vitality. But they're near max anyway, so it's pretty good. When I started maging to earn money, I maged around 20 or 30 Jammy Jack collars in total. And I only managed to get 4% air once. And this was the time that I got 4% air, and the AP landed, so that was good. Barbaric Wedding Ring is 1 AP exo, standard stats, not the best, but I don't feel it's necessary to buy one with 12 air damage and 12 water damage, because it costs around 30 million. I got this one for 14 million, so happy about that. Jammy Jack Glove was 1 MP, 1% air resistance, very, very nice stats. Just missing a bit of wisdom and a bit of vitality, but apart from that, very nice stats. The weapon I'm using is a Dark Quartz shovel. It's pretty bad stats. Missing air damage, missing AP parry. I made this a long time ago when I first started. So yeah, I've kept it until now. But 80 vitality, 299 vite is pretty nice. Next I'm using an Ilizali shield, perfect stats, and 75 vitality transcendence rune. Now, I bought this shield that was perfect stats in the market for 10 million or something. Then I just added a transcendence rune, 75 vitality, and I stole the signature. So yeah, but I'm using this because I don't really use my weapon. The weapon I use just for the stats. It gives a lot of nice stats, but I don't use the weapon to attack, so I don't care that it's minus 15% weapon damage. I wouldn't use this on my strength set though, because the strength set is I use a hammerture for damage. I actually use the weapon, so this would make the hammerture hit a lot less damage. And then I'm using an airbark, 25% air resistance and 50% power. Using an ebony, Dofus, ivory, abyssal, emerald, ochre, and major stunter. So yeah. Next I'm showing you guys my intelligence set. The intelligence set is one that I use for PvP. The agility set I rarely ever use. I don't even know why I have it. Yeah, but the intelligence set I sometimes use for PvP. The strength set is definitely for the main one I use, but the intelligence set I sometimes use. I'll explain why in a moment. Let me just show you my... The pet that I'm using in my inset is actually a firebark, but I can't disassociate it because it's actually it's a Mimi Symbic. So yeah, I can't disassociate it. But yeah, my resistance is 24, 31, 37, 43, 34. AP and MP parry are pretty high as well, which is one of the good things about intelligence sets. The damage of this set is actually quite high, like with regards to the spell damage. Now showing you guys my stats, I have 1232 intelligence, 60 dodge, 2.3k initiative, yeah, just a standard inset. Now, I'm not using a dragon helmet in this set either because I need to be able to output a lot of damage. I'm using a Scapu helmet, 3% earth resistance, and most of the stats are perfect. Max fire damage, max AP parry, max crits, max pushback resistance as well. So it's pretty nice. Managed by Madoish, a very good mage. I've seen him in Echo a lot of times. The cloak I'm using is a Merdiodin cloak. Merdiodin cloak is it's an important cloak because it gives 1 AP. Also notice that the hat gives 1 AP, so I don't need to use an Ochre Dofus or a Shaker. But yeah, 3% fire resistance is very nice stats as well. Max fire damage, max lock, wisdom near max. Unfortunately, the heals is missing 1, but I left it off because I didn't have enough sync when I was fixing the stats. But yeah, I'm happy with the stats anyway. The belt is a Croco Belt. Azak Nami maged it. This is probably one of the only 3% fire Croco Belts in the server. It's extremely difficult to mage. I tried maging one myself and it just didn't work. 3% fire extra mage. It gives 12% earth, 12% water as well, which is pretty nice. Next we have a Unnameable Boots, 3% fire resistance. Extremely nice stats. Max vitality, max int. Wisdom is above the median. Max fire damage as well. Very, very nice stats. I've never seen one better than this. Yeah. Amulet I'm using is a Cute Cthulhu pendant. Perfect stats except for a bit of vitality and intelligence, but 3% fire resistance, so it's alright. The ring I'm using is a Ring Goose, 1 MP, and also 3 intelligence overmaged, and AP parry is max as well. Extremely nice stats. Basically what happened here was that it was on 63 intelligence, and then when I overmaged the intelligence, I did the plus 10 intelligence rune, it dropped 4 prospecting because prospecting was at 6. So yeah, it dropped 4 prospecting, so I just added the MP rune and it landed. Keep in mind that fire damage is max as well. Wisdom is 37, which is pretty nice. Not many Ring Gooses have above 35 wisdom. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. I also have a 1 MP 1% fire resistance ring goose, but my friend is using that at the moment. I'm going to reveal in the end of 2019 video of all my 2019 mages. You'll probably see that item there. Using a 1 AP horror thing. It's also 1 intelligence over mage. Pretty nice. The set bonus with the amulet and the ring is 10 heals, 40 agi, 40 int, 10 crit resist. It's not that good. It's not that bad. Yeah, I don't know if it's better to use these 2 bonuses or to use 2 set Rhine-Needle bonus, but if I was to use a 2 set Rhine-Needle bonus, I'd have to get rid of the Croco Belt, which I don't want to, because Croco Belt is much nicer than a Rhine-Needle belt for my purposes. Brute attacks 1, I'm using 2% earth. Very nice stats. I actually dropped, I think it was a heal and a prospecting when I added the 2% earth. Shield I'm using is Elizali shield. This is the same shield as the one I'm using in my agility set. Oh, and the pet is a fire black. It's 25% fire resistance and 50 power. Using ebony, ivory, abyssal, emerald, nomad, and major intellectual. So yeah. Now I use this set sometimes in PvP because of the brute attacks 1. It gives me the ability to heal teammates. I also want to show you how much I heal on it, so let me just attack this mob. I'm just gonna get the monster to low HP. The spells are actually pretty strong. The intelligence spells are stronger than the... No, they're actually the same as the strength spells, but because I'm using an Elizali shield, it does a lot more. Alright, now time to heal. As you can see, the damage preview here, the fire component is like 263 or something, and the heal is pretty nice. Now that's because I have a lot of fire damage and intelligence in my set. As you can see, the crit hit 358. So the heal overall is actually not much. The Elizali shield I have minus is the weapon damage 15%. So if I didn't have an Elizali shield, then the brute attacks wand would be doing more damage. But yeah, let me just finish off the fight now. It's very nice. I don't crit. Yeah, you see the ebony Dofus 580 damage. Very, very high damage tetanization, the main intelligence spell. And it also MP rapes, so it's pretty nice. Alright, next moving on to the chance set, which is the one that I mainly use for PVM purposes. Okay, so once again, showing you my resistances. Chance set I use for PVM because of the spell Tibia, which hits in an area of effect. My resistances are 24, 31, 32, 35 and 38. Yeah, it's alright. Now, if you look at my stats, I have 1175 chance, 3.2k initiative though, and 93 dodge, which is pretty high compared to the other sets. I have 195 power as well, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, overall, it's quite a lot of chance and damage. 117 water damage as well. The hat I'm using is a kitty bonnet, 4% earth resistance. Now you look at it, it's pretty bad. It's missing a lot of vitality, wisdom a bit low, missing water damage, missing MP parry. But like I said, I don't really care because this is for PVM. The chance set is for PVM purposes. Yeah, it's 4% earth and just missing some stats. Cape of the Sharp Eye. No overmage, no exomage, just very nice stats that I maged. It was very hard to fix the stats on this item because there's no source of sync, but that was the end result that I got. Yeah, so the cape looks pretty nice as well without a Mimi Symbic. The belt I'm using is the same belt from my strength set, and the reason I'm using this belt is with the ring for a 2-set Rhine-Needle bonus, as I explained before. The Pathogastrix boots I have is a 3% fire resistance mage, max chance, max fire damage and water damage, so pretty decent. Using a Spook Off amulet. This is the one that I had from my Osa set years back. I think I already mentioned that I landed the MP here by luck. 1% air resistance over mage, 1 MP. Barbaric Wedding Ring I'm using is 3% fire resistance over mage. Usually the ring should be an exo and the amulet should be 3% resistance, but in this set, since I have the amulet as a 1 MP exo, I decided to get the ring as a 3% fire. Next I have a 1 AP Rhino Tool ring. Decent stats I suppose, not too bad, not too good. Have an ethical wand which is 2% fire resistance. I managed to get max dodge, max water damage, max chance as well, which is nice. Now keeping in mind the condition here is intelligence more than 300. Fortunately for me, I have 301 intelligence because 59 intelligence is from the Pathogastrix, and we also have 100 intelligence from the Rhino Tool bonus, and 100 intelligence is from my scrolling. So the other 42 intelligence comes from the ethical wand, which makes it enough. So that's another reason why I use the 2-set Rhino Tool bonus. Shield I'm using is a 4, oh no, it's not a 4-leaf, it's a Stalax shield. Perfect stats, no, not perfect stats, missing 4 dodge, 100 vitality, transcendence. I achieved this without dropping 1 AP, so it's pretty nice. Range damage is important because of the spells I use, Ulna and Vertebra Poison. Usually I'm going to be hitting it and running away, so the damage of the poison will do more. Ebony Dofus, Ivory Dofus, Abyssal, Crimson, Major Luxter and Nomad. Oh, and the Brack is 25% water resistance and 50% power. Before I end the video, I want to show you the capability of my poison damage. Now the poison damage is the poison damage is 649. That's without any resistance, but if I buff my Ebony up or I use Arcanine, then it's going to do a bit more than that. Let me just buff up my... The max accumulation effect of Vertebra is 2, which means we cast it 2 turns in a row, then it's going to have 2 poisons on it. And then the 3rd turn we do not need to cast anything. Now I'm Ebony 5, I'm going to apply my Ebony now and Arcanine. And we're going to notice that it does 3 different poisons here. So we have 2 from the Vertebra and 1 from the Ebony. So yeah, poison can be pretty nice for an Ouginak, but overall I prefer to use this set for PVM purposes. Alright, so just wrapping up the video. Those are my 4 sets that I revealed. If you have any questions with regards to these sets, let me know below. I will now tell you that you might notice some things. For example, all 4 of my sets have an Ebony, have an Ivory and an Abyssal. These 3 eggs are the most important eggs in PvP for any character. Maybe not for a Kra or something, they don't really need an Abyssal. But characters that tend to like play close range and have to run at enemies, they will benefit from the 1 MP. And if they start their turn next to an enemy, they'll benefit from the 1 AP. So that's why Ebony, Ivory and Abyssal are extremely important. Yeah, so that's it for me. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know below. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you at the next video.